Hey, what's up guys? Chillits here, welcome back to more Fate Hollow Ataraxia. Last time, we, well, let's just cut to, the major thing we did last. We had a, bath scene with Ryder that, got kind of, I don't even know how to put it. I was very confused by the end of it. And I think it needs no further explanation, to be honest. But, yeah, let us, continue with these side stories. Okay, Rin's at the Abba, or we can talk to Ryder. Let's talk to Ryder. I'm feeling some Ryder, you know? With a paperback book in one hand, I head towards Ryder's room. I've finished reading the one she lent me, so I came to return it and borrow another.
Ryder, 入るぞ.
Hi, Rin? Just what is this? Tosca is studying Ryder's hair from extremely close up. While Ryder stands by looking slightly bewildered. Why is such a secret flower garden-esque atmosphere filling this room? I don't know, Shiro.
おー、エミヤくん。どうしたの？障子を開けたままポケット突っ立っちゃって。
You know, because we are stupefied, to be honest.
いや、俺は本を返しに来ただけなんだが。君たちは何してんの？
Emotions still being processed. My voice comes out like a robot's.
何って見てわからない？ライダーの髪綺麗でしょ？だからついね。
Yeah, understandable. We're very well aware of that from very close up, actually. Given to what exactly? Just what are they really up to here? You know.
シロ、本を返しに来たのですね。
Yeah.
そのあたりに置いておいてください。後で私が片付けますので。
ああ。で、ライダー、なんだ、遠坂に弱みでも握られたのか？
Shiro, not everything Rin does with someone else is because she's threatening them or anything. Come on. I'm not entirely sure if there's a barely perceptible mistake in the delicate scene painted before me, or whether it is simply intended to play on the viewer's nerves. Now that I look at her more closely, however, it seems Ryder's not enjoying it that much either.
別に、そう目を白黒させることではないかと。リンが私の髪を見たいというので、こうして髪をすいてもらっているだけですから。
I see, okay.
そうだったんだ。羨む。いや、珍しいこともあるんだな。ライダーが人に髪を触らせるなんて。
Shiro, I think, you of all people, can't really be saying that.
それで遠坂、ライダーの髪の何が気になるんだ？
It could be related to magic. It could be. It's said that women have strong magical power residing in their hair, so this could be related to some kind of new magic she picked up while in London.
何って、だからほら。
I'm looking. As she speaks, Tosca gathers one section of Ryder's hair in her hands, and then another. Her eyes, as she stares at her, are full of serious concentration. All joking aside right now, she's the same Tosca Rin that appears when there's a precious gem around to be studied.
なんで枝毛がないのよ。
Cause she's a spirit? Seriously, what are these two doing?
呆れたな。暇なのか、遠坂。
だってライダーってこんなに髪が長いのに朝から晩まで綺麗じゃない？女として気にならない方が変よ。
I can't really comment on that, to be honest.
美容室でも時々言われます。この長さで枝毛が全くないのは何かの冗談かと。
Again, I couldn't say.
やはり髪は女性の永遠の課題なのでしょうね。
A tranquil smile surfaces over Ryder's calm face. Split ends, huh? It's not something I've experienced myself, but they seem to be a serious issue as far as the girls are concerned. They do say that damaged hair will result in split ends, and the girls with long hair must worry about this a lot.
では次は私がリンの枝毛を探しましょうか。
I don't think that'll be necessary, Ryder.
それには及ばないわよ。
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Tosca visibly falters at Ryder's proposal.
リンも様々な手入れでこの黒髪を養っているのでしょう。私から見ても絹のようで羨ましいです。
そう言われると照れるわね。
Tosaka shy? What? Excuse me? What is this mood they have going? Ryder catches the ends of Tosca's hair between her fingers. The secret flower garden-o-meter just went off the scale. It wouldn't be so foolish as to say so out loud, but this kind of situation could really lead one to imagine certain things. Okay, yeah, I'm sure.
見てライダー、そこの誰かさんポカーンとしてるわよ。
I mean, whoops, almost let myself get caught there. I think you did get caught, to be honest. Trembling, I tear my gaze away and look off somewhere else as I distance myself from them.
シローは枝毛はなさそうですね。
Yeah?
あるかもしれないけど気にしたことはないし。
残念です。もう少し長ければ次はシローの番だったのですが。
I mean, Ryder's tranquil smile has been replaced by a smug grin. I know I'm a little late in realizing this, but these ladies are the same two who are neck and neck in the house for the title of most ill-tempered.
違う話をしよう。いや、同じでもいいから違う人の話にしよう。
I enter a defensive stance. The way this conversation is going, I'll end up as a toy for the two of them before long. I mean, that wouldn't be so bad, would it? I mean, what?
違う人物ですか？そうですね。
Yes?
そのあたり気になるかもしれない男がいました。
Who?
誰？男の知り合いで長髪はいなかったはずだけど。
アサシンの佐々木小次郎です。
ああ。
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Right, now that she mentions it, even as a guy, I can't help but notice how nice his long hair looks.
待った。あいつ暇なんだし、日がな一日枝毛の手入れをしていておかしくないわよ。
I don't think he needs to, though.
しかしリン、彼とてサーバント、思うに枝毛はないと。
それは屈辱。そなたは枝毛で悩むのか？ははは、実に良い。己の容姿に悩むうちは花の乙女よ。乙女であるうちはまだまだ美しさを増そうなんて笑われた日には ショックで寝込みかねないわ。
You know, I can't even deny that. He probably would say something similar to that.
いかにも言いそうですね。あれは短美な男ですから。
No, would is the wrong word here. Her example is so fitting that I'm sure she's already had those very words said to her. Maybe. Very much maybe. But it really is hard to resist the temptation to ask. And not just about the split ends. That warrior Saori he's always wearing must also require a bit of looking after. Then again, maybe not. No doubt that would end in me getting slashed in half. I don't know.
男の枝毛のことなんか考えるのはやめにしましょう。心の税金だわ。
I mean, well, I mean, there's Lancer too, but I guess neither of them want, well, yeah.
リンもサクラも髪では苦労しているのですね。
ま、私は私で負けないようにうまくやるわ。ライダーはサクラをいろいろ手伝ってあげてよね。
I'm sure she has been.
あの子、磨けばもっと光るんだから。
If Shiro's just like, why am I here? I can't tell if this is consideration for her younger sister or a rival's encouragement. I don't know.
はい。リンには胸を借りるつもりで挑戦させていただきます。
Oh, I think she already has the chest area on lock, to be honest.
胸ならサクラに借りたいくらいよ。何そこ、笑ってる場合じゃない。
No, I would never.
何もしてないぞ俺は。
Okay. Okay, we can talk to Rin, and we can only talk to Rin. Okay. Rin it is. I'm heading to Tosca's house. After coming back from abroad, she said, "Come over to my house if you have some free time. It'd be a good idea to make an appearance." So I walk into her house and...
何やってるんだ。
ああ、シロ、見てわからない？
No, because it... Oh, it kinda looks like she's cooking. A very antique-looking cauldron is on the desk. Making potions? Though because of the eerie form and how old it looks, it seems odd to use it for cooking. There's also a mountain of ingredients piled up. An unusual bunch of wild grasses, stuff you normally would never use.
父さんがそれ食うのか。
Again, probably potion.
おかしなこと聞くわね。薬草じゃない、これ全部。
Medicinal herbs? Then I guess they're edible? That's not the point, Shiro. They could be applied directly to a wound. Yes. I've been treated by one of her secret ointments before, but is this how she makes it?
ああ、そうね。何作るか言ってなかったわね。これ、煎じ薬にするの。
Okay.
効能は需要競争とか美容回春とか
Or, you know, treating wounds.
作れたら副業にできるかもね。実際この家業で表の職業が薬屋って多いわよ。
Oh. When it wasn't possible back in the old days to distinguish between a magus, doctor, or faith healer, did they all just operate under the same kind of drugstore label? I mean, probably? Still, for Tosca to talk about a side business, she must be in quite a tight spot.
エミヤくん、何よその笑いは。
Nothing.
なんでもない。で、何に使うんだ？
エミヤくんには不要なものだろうけど、不詳の弟子にもしっかり教えてあげましょう。
Thanks, I guess. With a nod, I listen to Tosca.
魔術刻印を抑制するための薬よ。
Okay.
それは俺にはいらないな。
Magic crest. I don't have one, but Tuscus is the type that's passed down from one generation to the next. An immobilized mystery that contains the Magus achievements as well as their tenacity. That is the complex engraving placed onto her left arm.
魔術刻印は成長すればなれるけど、結局他人の体だからね。やっぱり薬を飲まないと抑え込むのは辛いし。
免疫抑制剤みたいなものか。
500年も600年も続いて血統操作しているような魔術師の一族ならともかくね。うちは族外の血は入るし、たかだか200年足らずの極東の家柄だから、こういうものに頼らないといけないの。
At best, 200 years. Just thinking about it makes me dizzy. The length of time from when I told Kiritsugu that I admired and wanted to be a Magus until now seems like nothing more than a brief sigh in comparison.
こういうのを使えるっていうのも、遠坂が立派な魔術師の証拠じゃないのか？
かもしれないわね。じゃあシロ、これお願い。
Tosca forces an old book into my hands while laughing. What is it? Why? It looks about as ancient as that pot. Who's this? Tosaka Tokinaga?
付箋の貼ってあるところに作り方が書いてあるから、あとはよろしく。
Since we're here, she's just gonna force the work onto us.
待て遠坂、これはなんだ？
先祖代々の調合表よ。弟子のあなただから見せてあげる重要な我が家の。
I mean, thanks?
いいのか？俺が作っても。
I asked Tosca, unable to conceal my anxiety. Yeah. I mean, is this a good idea? It's like administering an amateur-made immunosuppressant to a heart transplant patient. There's a limit to how reckless you can be. Moreover, it's Tosca who will be taking it.
書いてある通りに作れば大丈夫。私だって小学生の頃に泣く泣く仕込まれたんだし。
Oh, that makes me feel marginally better, but not really.
だから大丈夫だと。
これも修行の一環よ、エミヤくん。つべこべ言わずにやりなさい。出来は私が見てあげるから。
Okay. If we fuck it up and you die, it's your funeral. It's your funeral, literally. It can't be helped if she puts it like that. She said she learned this while still in elementary school. I can't afford to lose now.
わかった。じゃあ挑戦してみる。うわ、筆書きだ。それも草書。
I would give up at that point. I'd be like, cursive, I'm out. Well, it depends on how good the handwriting. If it's like really neat cursive, I could probably figure it out and read it. But if it's like hastily written cursive with no care put into it, nah. I unintentionally groaned looking at the book, which had yellowed with age. Was this ancestor of Tosca's from that kind of era? I guess this old style of writing can't be helped if her family used this like a research journal for generations.
そうね。私の代で一度編集し直さないと。いい加減保存の限界よね。
That'd probably be a good idea, yeah.
でだな、遠坂。このページで間違ってないよな。
I show her the page with the tag on it. What are we going to do if Tosca's famous carelessness struck again, and this is completely the wrong page? Well... Tosca hastily looks to where I'm pointing.
それ。なんだ、また間違ったかと思ったじゃない。
またって。
Yeah, that's... What other mistake did you make? I might face her wrath if I say more. Yeah, okay. Alright, before Tosaka's good mood sours, let's get cooking. I mean, mixing. Is she really going to drink this? I peer into the boiling witch's kettle before me. No, I can't even look. Just the smell is making my lunch come up. Cautiously, I stretch out one arm and stir with the wooden spoon. I was wrong to think a normal pot would be better. Furthermore, boiling this in the kitchen would have been even worse. No way in hell would I want to cook with a pot or in a kitchen I hadn't used to make this stuff even once.
こんなもの飲めるのか?
I'd better sample it just to be safe. Oh, Shiro. Tosaka is going to drink it after all. It must be a dreadful task for the magus that has to take this.
そういえば、藤姉に青汁飲まされたよな。それに比べればまあ。
I would take the vegetable juice. I gamble on fooling my senses by pinching my nose. Gathering my resolve, I have a taste. See, compared to a full glass of vegetable juice or a large serving of Taizan's mapo tofu, this isn't so...
騒がしいわね。何やってるのよ。
Just taste testing. You know. My tongue, or rather, my whole mouth has been polluted. Is polluted an exaggeration? No. I can only think of this as an assault against my sense of taste. No, not only my senses, but against those of all mankind.
まずっ。
ああ、それ。まずさは折り紙付きだから。お薬って美味しかったら効かなそうだし。
You know, she has a point, I guess.
糖以上は邪道って思わない？エミヤくん？
美味しく飲めるならそれ正義。つうか父さんが嫌がらせだろうこの味は。
おかしいな。そこまでひどくはないはずだけど、もしかして失敗してる？
I mean, maybe, or maybe you're just used to it. Nonchalantly, Tosaka looks at the toxic stew in the pot.
なんだ。上出来上出来。
上出来なんだ。なあ、本当にそれ飲むのか?
My hope that she would deny that as a lie lasted only a mere moment.
ん？当たり前じゃない。コップ一杯ゴクッと。
R.I.P. Tosaka Rin.
どうしたの？エミヤくんったら端っこでブルブル震えて、まるでエイリアンに襲われた研究員みたいに。
That's because I became the first pitiful victim. For someone who cooks, having a whole glass of that palate-destroying liquid is the same as death. Still, for a magus whose path is intertwined with death, having a glass or two of that unpalatable medicine might not be such a big deal. With that, I realized the difference in growth between Tosaka and myself. Yeah.
だよな。俺が間違ってた。
As long as there's no risk of death or disability, I'll gladly drink this even for the sake of my magus training.
ん？ならいいけど、変なエミヤくん。
You can say that again, yeah. He definitely is weird.
じゃあ、あとは弱火で煮込み続けるだけね。はい、ちょっと付き合いなさい。
Where are you taking me now?
まだ何かあるのか?
まだ時間があるからね。あなたの魔術の進展を見せてもらおうかと思って。
Oh. Tosaka is the teacher after all, so of course she's thinking about her student. But I only recently recalled my magic.
どうしたの？途方に暮れた顔をして。 もしかして。
Tosca looks at my face quizzically. I hurriedly hide the anxiety that washed over me.
もしかして私のいない間にサボりにサボり回ってたとか。
No.
そんなことないぞ。いや、俺は俺なりに努力を。
Yeah.
そういうからには見せてもらいましょうか。さあ、覚悟して私の部屋に上がりなさい。
Okay. It can't be helped if it's come to this. Time to get serious. There's no choice but to show her some improvement in my magic. Oh no. The challenge is quite simple. I was handed a plastic knife used for opening letters, and now I have to reinforce it. Tosca's words were, "Since it's the ideal teaching material for you." I invoke reinforcement while Tosca looks on. The same words as always, invoke the illusion, integrate. Trace on. A magic circuit is forced awake by the flowing magical energy. I study the structure and analyze the material of the plastic knife in my hand. Pushing magical energy through its form and existence, I reinforce it. A process I've repeated dozens, even hundreds of times. I erase all idle thoughts. With a single purpose, I pour my will, blood, into the magic circuit.
できた。
Did you now? Whew! Having avoided embarrassment in front of Tosca, I wipe the sweat streaming down my forehead.
よっと。
Did you avoid embarrassment, Shiro? Did you really? I throw it at the dartboard in the corner of the room. Even if it's thrown and flies like a real one, there's no way a plastic knife would stick. But now, I heard the clink. It's as hard as steel, so it should easily sink into the... Awkward. It looks like Tosca can't stand to watch anymore. The knife bounced off the dartboard and fell. No, that should have worked. Could the reinforcement have been too weak? Tosca picks up the knife, examines it, then puts it away.
前より下手になってない？エミヤ君。
Probably.
そうさか。失敗したら今まではペーパーナイフを壊してただろ。それに比べればだいぶ。
失敗の仕方の進展なんかどうでもいいのよ。でもどこかおかしいわね。
How so? She looks me over suspiciously from top to bottom. Maybe she noticed something? Though all I got from her was a sigh.
わかったわ。やっぱりシロは1日2日鍛え直す必要がありそうね。
Oh boy.
面目ない。
早く面目も体面も立つ一人前の魔術師になろうとしなさい。これじゃあ向こうに連れて行ってもシロだけじゃなく私まで恥をかきかねないわね。
Okay. A day of studying magic under Tosca, huh? My weekends are open, but for her to take the time to do this for me is something I really owe her for. Feeling indebted, I bow my head to Tosca.
まったくどこからやればいいのかしら。そうだ、とっておきのあの薬で。
You mean the one we, like, almost died drinking?
もしかしてあの煎じ薬よりすごい味なのか。
あら、エミヤ君が使ってもいいっていうのならいろいろコレクションがあるけど。
No, I think I'm good. To be honest, I think I'm good. Please tell me that was a joke. Well, if this will speed up my progress, then the pain is a small price to pay.
またそういう顔してる、シロ。
わかった。遠坂の家に来ればいいんだよな。
we're probably just gonna stay here, to be honest.
そう、みっちり仕込んであげるから、覚悟しなさい。
Okay. Now then, it's a promise. Oh dear. Though I can't say for sure whether this is good luck or bad. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.